Thank you. Matt, may we please have roll call?
Counselor Hickerson,
Here.
Zadi, Pedri,
Here.
Demas,
Here.
Robinson,
Here.
Batolo,
Here.
Hanson,
Here.
Mayor Mickelson.
Here. Council, with the absence of President Zadi, I would entertain a motion to appoint a council president for this evening.
Your Honor,
Councilor Bertolo?
I would move
Or
to.
Robinson? Sorry.
Go ahead. I know we look alike. It's the hair. The glare. We'll talk about a new chief in a little bit. I would nominate Councilman Pedri as president for this evening.
Okay, fair enough. Is there a second?
Yeah, I'll second that.
Councilor Hickerson? All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, we have a council president. And that brings us to our consent agenda. This evening, we have the approval of the city council meeting minutes of September 19th, 2023. We have 3 appointments. The first is a second term of Leon Wolfwalker to the Building Code Appeals Board, first term to Lena Warren to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board, and a second term for Liz Stranigan to the Rock Springs Historical Museum Board. For council committee and board reports, we have the Joint Powers Fiber Optics Telecom Board meeting minutes of August 24th, 2023, and the Joint Powers Combined Communications Board meeting minutes of August 28th, 2023. Under correspondence, we have a thank you note from Girls Troop 307, Boys Troop 70, and Cub Scout Pack 70 for the mayor's part and their fundraiser event. A thank you note from the Sweetwater One Foundation for the city's support of their annual golf tournament. A letter from the Staying Emotions Foundation regarding the foundation's purchase of a Verticat for disabled golfers at the White Mountain Golf Course. A letter from Mayor Mickelson to the Bureau of Land Management regarding the city's opinion on its draft resource management plan.
Hold.
And a letter from the Wyoming Mining Association to the Bureau of Land Management regarding their draft resource management plan.
Your Honor,
Councilor Hanson?
in regards to D, the letter from Mayor Mickelson to the Bureau of Land Management, I think that's a very important letter. Can you elaborate on that, please?
Yeah, what we'll do is we'll hold those 2 items and we'll pass the consent agenda, and then we'll come back and have discussion about those 2 letters.
No problem. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay. With that, is there a motion to approve our consent agenda?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilor Batolo. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Hanson. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Okay, motion carries unanimously, which brings us to the letter from the city to the Bureau of Land Management regarding the city's opinion on its draft resource management plan. I'll open it up to council comments, and then I'll share my perspective.
Your Honor, I would like to say that I thought that was a good letter that you drafted and are sending off. I believe that the fact that we need a little bit more time as a community to express our concerns and to make it so that our voices can be heard. Hopefully that they will hear it and get the extra 120 days extension to help us to resolve this matter.
Thank you. Council? Okay. Functionally, our request, because the BLM went against the recommendation of the working group, we're asking that they pull the whole process, and that if they're unwilling to do that, then we're asking for a 120-day extension, because given the time frame that is left, the city is not prepared to give the substantive comments that they're requiring, because they switched the horse at the last minute. And so if we're going to have a credible process, they're going to have to provide that to the city. And then I would look for a motion to approve that letter.
So moved, Your Honor.
Thank you, Councilor Hickerson. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Counselor Petrie. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Motion carries unanimously, which brings us to the letter from the Wyoming Mining Association to the Bureau of Land Management regarding their draft resource management plan. And again, I'll open this up to council for comments.
Your Honor. Again, I would like to express my concern for the BLM and their proposal of the B that they have proposed. I think that the Wyoming Mining Association came up with a good letter to kind of get us a foothold and start working in the direction of trying to sway them in a different direction to go away from that proposal.
Thank you.
Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
In regards to both of the letters that have been written, I think they're spot on. I think that the way that the BLM has conducted business with this, with the open house at the Holiday Inn and not taking questions from the public was weak at best, if not a little bit underhanded in my opinion. But I think both these letters are spot on. And
Agreed. It is a sad reality that we're living in a time where there is not a great deal of trust in government at any level. And I think I commented last time that at the same time they're doing this maximum conservation for half of our county, they are expanding the number of golden and bald eagles that can be slaughtered by wind turbines, which seems highly inconsistent. And then it's just come to light that they did something similar in Utah by Moab, and they shut down, I think it was 96% of the roads and trails that were allowed for motorized access are going to be closed. So when we get assurances that our roads are going to stay open, it's very difficult to understand why BLM would essentially shut down an entire area to motorized access. And then in Wyoming, be like, no, here we're cool. And I'm sure that there is a very detailed explanation of why, but it is very difficult to have faith and trust that the interests of Sweetwater County are being represented at all. So, with
Your
that-
Honor,
yes, sir.
there's not one aspect of living in the southwest Wyoming that won't be affected by this, whether it's economic, recreational, quality of life, those kind of things. It's all affected by this, and it's just not right.
So hopefully they hear all of the different governmental entities. I know the county commissioners put a letter out. Then you have industry and all the private citizens who are taking their time to make comments. And hopefully they hear that if nothing else, they're going to have significant difficulty enforcing and enacting this kind of a change in a community that will be very resistant. So with that, do we have a motion to accept the letter?
So moved, Your Honor.
Thank you, Councilor Hickerson.
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Demas. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstaining? Hearing none, that brings that portion of the agenda to a close and takes us to bid openings. We are opening bids for the Parks and Recreation Paul J. Wataha Ballfield Lighting Upgrade Project. The first is from Pinnacle Electric and Construction Corporation from Windsor, Colorado.
What was the name again, sir?
Pinnacle Electric and Construction Corporation. I just heard every AV person in the world cringe at the way I puffed into that microphone. Okay, the total bid is for $479,380. And there is a bid bond. The next bid is from Electrical Connections, Inc. in Rock Springs, Wyoming. The total bid is $437,998. And there is a bid bond. The third and final bid of this evening is from JM Electrical, Inc. in Rock Springs, Wyoming. And the total bid amount is $425,610.90. And there is a cashier check. Okay. And that concludes our bid openings and brings us to presentations and proclamations. And I would invite the Girls Troop 307, Boys Troop 70, and Cub Scout Pack 70 to present their Midday Masquerade fundraiser dance update. And if you would make sure and please tell us your names. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, City Councilman, I am Riley Troutman, and I am a Life Scout in the Girls Troop 307, and I am starting on my Eagle project as soon as I get the materials. Thank you for inviting our troop to attend the meeting tonight. We thank you, Mr. Mayor, in person for participating in our fundraiser on September 16th. We did very well on our fundraiser. We are here tonight to let you know how well we did and how we will split the proceeds with our pack and the two troops. This also gives the younger Cubs the experience to attend a city council meeting where they can participate or practice speaking in front of a group. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, City Councilman, I am Elizabeth Burton, and I am a Life Scout rank in the Girls Troop 307. I am starting on my Eagle project as soon as I get the materials. For our fundraiser, we started planning for it in June, and to start, we set up a raffle for 2 hunting rifles and a cooler raffle. We also set up individual table raffles during the dance to raise money. The dance that we had was a midday masquerade dance where the URA was kind to let us use the bank court for our dance at no charge. We love the URA. Chad, Terry, and Kenneth have helped us out in many different occasions. We had a DJ from Total Sound Production that played at no charge. Mr. Zuak with Zuak Transportation delivered water for the dunk tank at no charge. We gave everyone a thank you card that participated in the dance, and we have and still are delivering the cards to businesses except for the URA. We sent them a flower arrangement to thank them. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, City Councilman, I am Savannah Sims, and I am a Scout rank. I will be completing my first year of Scouts in December at our Court of Honor. I will receive my tenderfoot and second class rank. During the dance, we had a few activities. We had a karaoke raffle contest provided by Tanya, the owner of the Total Sound Production. Table raffles, face painting, dunk tank, where we had the fire chief, Deputy Sheriff Watkins, and a couple scouts and Mr. Mayor, you. We want to say thank you to you and everyone who helped us out for the fundraiser. Thank you. Oh no.
Mr. Mayor, City Councilman, I am Braxton Hemmer, and I am about to complete my first year of BSA Scout in Troop 70. In December, I am Scout rank Scout, and at the next Court of Honor, I will be awarded Tenderfoot. The businesses that donated for our raffles were Bitter Creek Brewing, Buchetto's, Broadway Burger, Murdoch's, and Molly Crew.
Motley Crew.
There were also Scout parents who donated a lot of basket for the raffles. Riley and Elizabeth were the leaders asked for donations from the businesses. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, City Councilman, City Councilwoman, I am Sam Parker. I am a Tenderfoot Scout in Troop 70. I'm about to complete my first year and a half of BSA Scouts in Troop 70 in December. For the dance fundraiser, our troops purchased the decorations and the food and drinks. During the dance, we sold hot dogs, chips, and drinks, and nachos. The Scouts could work, but didn't have to during the dance. The leaders ran the dance for the Scouts so we could have fun. Riley and Elizabeth ran the cotton candy, and Savannah did the face painting. And a couple of Scouts sat in the dunk tank. The event turned out really fun, and the Scouts enjoyed the time off to have fun. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, City Councilman, I am Kenyon Grassgard, and I'm a Weeblos Cub Scout with Cub Scouts Badge 70. I want to let you know how much money our pack and troops made from the fundraiser. We made $7,400 with everything, the raffles and the dance. That is amazing. The DJ also raised additional $100 for a leader karaoke contest. Thank you.
As we mentioned, we did very well with the fundraiser. We split the proceeds between Cub Scout Pack 70, Girl Scout Troop 307, and Boys Troop 70. We made sure that we posted signs everywhere in order to let our community know that we had a dance plan for our whole community. Businesses were also okay with us posting them with them. With other activities going on in our community, we were still able to raise $7,400. We have such an amazing community, and we feel really good to be a part of it.
Before holding the dance, Troop 307 and Troop 70 attended Scout Camp at Camp Hunt. The Cubs attended their day camp and overnight Weeblos camp and took a trip to the zoo where they got to go behind the scenes with giraffes. Riley and I also attended OA Brotherhood Camp. On October 17th, we will have a Court of Honor where Troop 307 and Troop 70 Scouts will be recognized and awarded merit badges and ranks. The Cub Scouts will have their ceremony at a different time. Mr. Mayor, you and City Councilmen and women with families are welcome to join us.
We mentioned those activities to inform you and the council how the money is used once it is raised. Also, the troops and Cub Scout pack pay for rechartering for the Scouts every year. As long as the Scouts work, we raise the money so our parents don't have to worry about out-of-pocket expenses. We don't ask for monthly dues, we do fundraisers instead, for instance, selling world-famous chocolates, cowboy jerky, and other things to raise money for our troops. The only out-of-pocket money that the parents spend is for the food that we cook at our campouts. Then present Carter.
Hello, Mr. Mayor, City Councilman. I am Carter Lyman, and I'm a Life Scout for Troop 8. As Elizabeth had mentioned earlier, we attended an OA camp last month. Me, Riley, and Elizabeth became OA Brotherhood members. Another scout from Troop 8, who isn't here, completed the first steps in becoming an OA member by completing the OA ordeal the same weekend we completed Brotherhood. We've been asked, what is OA? OA stands for Order of the Arrow. The OA is the National Honor Society of BSA Scouting. OA starts with becoming an ordeal member, first by being voted in by scout peers. There are steps that must be performed and completed to attend your ordeal. First, you have to be registered in BSA. You have to have 15 nights of camping. You have to be under the age of 21. You have to hold first class, and you must be approved by the leader. OA emphasizes on servant leadership. OA candidates, it's like you get voted in, right? Must complete the ordeal to become a member. The ordeal is where scouts reflect on their journey in scouting, reflect on values of the scout oath and law through a series of tasks, and candidates then join the other OA members in providing service to the scout camp. The ordeal consists of service, inspirational ceremonies, and time for self-reflection and improvement. Not all scouts will become members, though. There are some that will, and there's other that... Hold on. There are a few that will and will carry on the service of helping others through OA. Once the ordeal is completed, a scout will wait 6 months before attending a Brotherhood membership ceremony. The first sash just shows an arrow, and then the Brotherhood sash, which I don't have on right now, has an arrow and two bars above and below it, and it's worn by all OA vigils. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, Councilman, Council Lady, we appreciate your time helping our troops. As you can tell, they've worked really hard on earning the money that they have raised. Next year, we hope to go on to another camp. We're hoping to do a youth leadership camp sometime down in Utah next summer, hopefully in June. And then with Riley and Elizabeth, they're both working on their Eagle project. This Friday, they're meeting with Blowdorn to get supplies and materials, hopefully, so they can start their project. So pretty soon we'll be eagling out and missing those two. They've been the backbone of our troop. Fire Chief, we appreciated you helping us out. It was a lot of fun having you there. We had a deputy sheriff that was also there. And I hope you guys all had fun being with us, and we really enjoyed having you. But I want to thank the scouts for being here. They have a lot of guts standing up here in front of everybody and talking. But thank you for having us.
Thank you. I can tell you I've never had so much fun almost drowning in my whole life. No, it was a blast.
Right. I think I'm probably going to be the last here, hopefully. Mayor, City Council. My name is Jim James. I am both the Scoutmaster for Troop 70, and I am the charter executive that says, yes, we can have these scouts. I'm the guy that runs the whole show. The kids put a lot of effort into this. We did a good time. The boys, it looks like we're going to go to the beach this year with the money we made. So that's the whole thing why we do these fundraisers, so the boys could earn the money to do things, and it teaches the kids financial responsibility. That's one thing. I have been a Scoutmaster for over 40 years now, and I'm sorry, I think we got a wonderful team here. The hardest thing about the Scouts is getting leaders, and I got a good group of leaders here working under me. Thank you very much.
Council, do you have any questions or comments?
Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
$7,000 is pretty impressive.
I'd just like to commend you guys on your hard work you guys put into this, both the women and the gentlemen of this group. That's very impressive.
Okay. And it does take a surprising amount of courage to stand up in front of a group like this and speak, and you all did very, very well. So thank you, and thank you for coming. Sure. Yeah. 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 Do you want to? Yeah. Why don't you? Here, we'll chuck some chairs out of the way.
We got to make sure they can get through though.
Yeah, barricaded. They're scouts. And then here, you guys all come up here. Yeah, you guys come up here too. Let's try to get rid of
Good job. You guys keep up the hard work. That's awesome. Keep up the hard work. Way to get up there and speak, buddy.
Nice presentation. Yeah, 1 minute. Let's sneak our chairs out. So we can,
All righty, are we all ready? Oh.
I probably missed that too. Kenny, smile. There you go. Okay.
all you guys.
We didn't say Scout.
What, Jim James too?
Yeah, Jim will be up here too.
Yep, Jim, come on up. Just kick this out.
All right, we're good.
Hey, put the chairs back.
Yeah. Keep up the hard work. That's awesome.
Till the day I die.
Oops, is that chair in our way here?
Thank you.
Yeah, you guys did really well. Good job.
Thank you.
Okay. Do you want the other chair?
Yeah, we'll get it later.
You gonna leave it?
Yeah, we'll get it.
Okay.
Okay. That takes us to our first proclamation of this evening, which is for Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And it is a topic that is very personal for me. I had a cousin whose husband shot and killed her in a domestic violence incident. And it is really something that, among many issues, we really need to work on. So with that, whereas the YWCA of Sweetwater County recognizes and participates in a public awareness campaign to support National Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and Domestic Violence Awareness Month provides an excellent opportunity for citizens to learn more about preventing domestic violence and to show support for the organizations and individuals who provide critical advocacy, services, and assistance to victims. And on average, nearly 20 people per minute are physically abused by an intimate partner in the United States. During 1 year, this equates to more than 10 million women and men. And domestic violence can take the form of physical, emotional, sexual, and economic abuse. 1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men in the United States have experienced some form of physical violence by an intimate partner. Too often, the victims of domestic violence are children who can have lifelong repercussions from the emotional or physical trauma of being exposed to domestic violence. Domestic violence survivors and their advocates in Sweetwater County have rallied to the cause of victim justice, and the government and citizens of Rock Springs, Wyoming fully recognize the need to treat victims with dignity and compassion. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Max Mickelson, Mayor of the City of Rock Springs, do hereby declare the month of October 2023 to be Domestic Violence Awareness Month in the City of Rock Springs and call upon our citizens to stand together against domestic violence, offer support and understanding to survivors, and participate in domestic violence awareness activities. In an effort to raise awareness for this important issue, there will be purple lights and silhouettes set up in the community and local businesses throughout the month of October. And if you'd like to step up and address us.
Mayor, Council, thank you for having us.
Name, please.
Okay, Kayla Manico with YWCA of Sweetwater County.
Tamara Kendrick, I volunteer with the YWCA.
And I wanted to take a minute and thank you for sharing your story briefly, because I think that it's important for our community to know that most of us, whether you know it or not, you probably do know somebody who has been or is in a violent situation. So I won't take much of your time, but I do want to share a few things with you. So in 2022, domestic violence programs across the United States served almost 80,000 victims of violence in one day. That's just one day in the United States. Of course, high-profile cases come to the headlines, but thousands of people experience domestic violence every day, and more often than not, those cases are behind closed doors. So it's not always visible to the public. It's not usually visible to coworkers and maybe even friends, family. It's not always visible, and it's not easy to pick out either. YWCA serves hundreds of victims each year in our communities. And last year, YWCA assisted over 400 clients within one fiscal year in Sweetwater County specifically, provided over 2,000 shelter nights within our community, and assisted with about 195 protection orders. That doesn't include all the other numbers, the breakdown of children, women, men, the crisis calls that we get, the calls that we go out on in the middle of the night. So that just gives you an idea, though. Each year, we return before you to request that you proclaim October Domestic Violence Awareness Month. We desire the community to know that domestic violence does happen in our community, but more importantly, we want to reach out to those that may be experiencing domestic violence and let them know that services are available. It's important for survivors to know that the abuse happening is not their fault and they're never alone. Advocates with YWCA are available 24/7. We have a crisis line and a shelter. Reaching out to help doesn't mean that you're always ready to leave. It could just be starting with a simple conversation when you're able. So again, we're available 24/7. I want to encourage our community to really participate in the awareness opportunities this month and band together against domestic violence. I don't know if the proclamation mentioned October 14th, we do have a run, a Purple Glow run coming up at the Young at Heart Senior Center. There's other opportunities. There's Wear Purple Day. So if you find the YWCA of Sweetwater County on Facebook, you can check out all of the different opportunities that we have specifically this month to help raise awareness and bring survivors together as well. So thank you.
Council, do you have any?
There is one thing I would like to say. If anybody knows of a domestic violence victim right now and they have a secret phone, with tomorrow's FEMA test, we need them to turn off those phones completely. So if you guys know of anybody, spread the rumor. If FEMA tests tomorrow, we need their secret phones silenced. And can I hand this out to you?
Yeah, that's a good point. They're testing the national emergency broadcast signal at 12:20 our time tomorrow. So every phone, thank you, in the country is going to go off. And if you are having a phone that you need for safety that you don't need other people to know about. Council, do you have any questions or comments?
Yes, are you guys going to do the yard signs again this year?
We are. So we have the yard signs available. You'll just have to pick them up from the YWCA, and then we'll come around with volunteers and pick them up at the end of October. So surprisingly, they stay very well in your yard. So don't worry about the, dare I say it, snow and wind and all the things we're about to experience. So thank you for bringing that up.
Thank you.
Good. Well, thank you very much. Our next proclamation is for Fire Prevention Week. The city of Rock Springs is committed to ensuring the safety and security of all those living in and visiting our state. Fire is a serious public safety concern, both locally and nationally. Homes are the locations where people are at greatest risk from fire. Home fires killed more than 2,800 people in the United States in 2021, according to the National Fire Protection Association. And fire departments in the United States responded to 338,000 home fires. Cooking is the leading cause of home fires in the United States, and fire departments respond to more than 166,400 annually between 2016 and 2020. 2 of every 5 home fires start in the kitchen, with 31% of these fires resulting from unattended cooking, and more than half of reported non-fatal home cooking fire injuries occurred when the victims tried to fight the fire themselves. Children under 5 face a higher risk of non-fire burns associated with cooking than being burned in a cooking fire. Residents who have planned and practiced a home fire escape plan are more prepared and will therefore be more likely to survive a fire. Working smoke alarms cut the risk of dying in reported home fires almost in half. Rock Springs first responders are dedicated to reducing the occurrence of home fires and home fire injuries through prevention and protection education. Rock Springs residents are responsive to public education measures and are able to take personal steps to increase their safety from fire, especially in their homes. The 2023 Fire Prevention Week theme, Cooking Safety Starts With You. Pay attention to fire prevention. Effectively serves to remind us to stay alert and use caution when cooking to reduce the risk of kitchen fires. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Max Mickelson, Mayor of the City of Rock Springs, do hereby proclaim the week of October 8th through the 14th, 2023 to be Fire Prevention Week in Rock Springs, Wyoming. And I urge the people of Rock Springs to check their kitchens for fire hazards and use safe cooking practices during Fire Prevention Week 2023 and to support the many public safety activities and efforts of the Rock Springs Fire Department. Like to come up? And when he's done, we'll get pictures with you and pictures with him.
Mayor, City Council, I'd like to talk to you guys about fire prevention. This year, Fire Prevention Week is the 8th through the 14th. And every year during that week, we like to visit our schools and provide educational materials. Now, last year, I see a lot of new faces, so you guys don't know that we revamped our program last year. Last year, we adopted the Sound Off program. Now, this is a nationally accredited program that targets 2nd and 3rd graders. Now, why would we target only 2nd and 3rd graders? They're the ones that are the most apt to absorb the information. Younger than that, it's a little too early for them to understand the safety messages. Older than that, quite frankly, they just don't care anymore. I've got 5th and 6th graders, and you're starting to lose them into the teenage land, and they don't accept the message quite as well. So 2nd and 3rd graders are kind of our target audience. So we go in. Now, we used to do large format presentations. So the entire school, 450 kids at some schools at once. Super fun. However, I'm not really sure that the fire prevention message or the safety messaging got through to those students. So we, in the City of Rock Springs, adopted Sound Off. Sound Off is just for 2nd and 3rd graders, and we administer it to the class. Each individual class of 2nd and 3rd graders will see us next week. We give them a little presentation. We ask them to be on our fire safety team. We bribe them a little bit, and then we send them home with a survey. Now, this survey is the most important part. This is where the rubber meets the road. This survey asks that child to go on a scavenger hunt in their house to look for smoke detectors. And it kind of harangues the parents or whoever else is in the house, the guardians, to help them do that. And that does 2 things. That gets them to test their smoke alarms, 1, and 2, if they don't have one, I find out about it because they have to return that piece of paper next week after that, and I give them a color-changing mood cup and a pencil. And you'd be surprised how much a motivated kid can do with a color-changing pencil and a cup. Now, when we first did this, last year was our first year, I was thinking, all right, maybe I'll get 50% of them back, right? We got over 70% of the kids to return their surveys. So out of 768 2nd and 3rd graders, 477 of them returned their survey. Out of those, 55 did not have working smoke alarms. That's a big issue for me. I want to make our constituents a lot safer. So out of every single one of those, I called all those parents because it's got their name. They return it with their phone number. And we asked them, what do you need from us to get a working smoke alarm in your house? Do you need us to provide the smoke alarm? Do you just need us to swap out the battery? Is it way up there in a vaulted ceiling like this that you just can't reach? And we went to every single house and put in a working smoke alarm. Now, that's super important because the last 3 or 4 fatalities in the City of Rock Springs had one common theme, and I bet you can guess what that might be.
No smoke alarms.
Not working smoke alarm. So that made me feel a lot better about protecting our constituents in this city by providing this service and kind of I'm using their kids to get to them, but I'm getting a 2-for-1 because I'm educating their kids about smoke alarms, meeting places, things that are unsafe, like unattended cooking. Kitchen fires are a big one. Where should they go once the smoke alarm goes off? All these other safety messages, and I can deliver it in a small format classroom, and I think the retention's a lot better. It really is. It's nationally studied and accredited, so and I can verify it works. I did pre and post testing in one of our schools, pre-test, and it's the same test before and after. 50% was the average on the test. After was 79%. So 28% increase in retention of the information. And I don't think we ever got that from the large format before. So I'm pretty happy with the program, and we are really excited as a department to roll that out for this year. Another couple things that come with the Sound Off program is national money. Because we did that last year, we're going to be in a SAFER grant for next year, and we will be a Sound Off state. Myself and Tristan Van Valkenburg are the state coordinators for Sound Off, and we will be helping coordinate throughout the rest of the state to make Wyoming a Sound Off state. If we do that, we get a lot of funding. We will get free smoke alarms, which is kind of hard to find. Usually we get donations. We kind of rely on people's goodwill to help us fund and place smoke alarms in people's houses. But next year, hopefully, if the grant goes through, we don't have to worry about that. Questions?
Council.
No, that was a lot. That was pretty out of the mouth, but
I want a color changing cup.
As soon as you watch the video, you can have one.
I'm a little
and
older
you got to
than
give me a
second
survey.
grade.
Yeah, I can probably make that happen. Absolutely.
Thank you for everything you do.
Yeah, no problem.
I can tell you from personal experience that one person sitting up here's kid came home and grilled him like she had been trained by the KGB.
Perfect. Exactly. That's exactly what I was hoping
And
for.
still, about every 3 months, I get the prompt, have you checked? So it definitely took hold in her. Yeah, if anybody needs an extra kid, I know.
Yeah, I got 3 of those.
Yeah, no.
Available for adoption anytime.
Right. No, that
I also want to tell everyone that the City of Rock Springs Fire Department has a great program. If you need help with your smoke alarm, call the fire department. We will come and help you change out that battery. If you just can't get up on a ladder, we'll help you get up there. We'll get it for you. It's not a big deal. If you don't have one, I'm going to make sure you get one in your house one way or another. So
great service.
It's good for people to know because most people don't know or understand that we're willing to do that.
I've never purposely called the fire department. I have accidentally, by cooking, called the fire department.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, fair. Well, thank you.
Absolutely.
That is wonderful. All right, now pictures.
Oh, yep.
Step on up.
Oh, no, I didn't know if you were doing those ladies first.
I was up front. Yeah, one of them had a snack.
Okay, that takes us to the bills and claims for. Oh gosh, you're right. Thank you. That brings us to petitions and public comment. So if anybody would like to approach us and visit with City Council, now's the time. Okay, that takes us to bills and claims for October 3rd, 2023. Council, is there a motion?
Your Honor,
Councilor Demas?
I make a motion to approve the bills and claims for October 3rd, 2023.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Hickerson. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining?
Abstaining.
Motion carries with Councilor PG abstaining. That takes us to the salaries for September 22nd of 2023. Council, do we have a motion?
Your Honor,
Councilor Demas?
I make a motion to approve the salaries for September 22nd, 2023.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Botello. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining?
Abstaining.
Okay, the motion carries with Councilor Pedri abstaining. And I just want to put a plug out there for everybody. I would make a lot fewer errors if we were doing this at 7:45 a.m. instead of p.m. So if anybody wants to switch that time, just let me know.
I wouldn't make it.
Yeah, I know. That takes us to new business. Our first item of new business is a request from the Finance Department for approval of the fiscal year 2024 final budget. Council, is there a motion?
Your Honor,
Councilor Demas?
I make a motion to approve this request.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Pedri. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Motion carries unanimously, which brings us to our next item, which is a request from the Parks and Recreation Department for permission to fill a vacant irrigation technician position at the White Mountain Golf Course. Council, do we have a motion?
Move to approve this request.
Thank you, Councilor Botello. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Hickerson. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Motion carries unanimously. Our last item of new business this evening is a request from the Rock Springs Chamber for approval of the 26th Annual Chamber Lighted Holiday Parade on December 2nd, 2023, with road closures from 4 p.m. until 7 p.m. Council, do we have a motion?
Your Honor,
Councilor Demas?
I make a motion to approve this request.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Hanson. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? The motion carries unanimously, which brings us to the resolutions for the evening, the first being Resolution 2023-127.
A resolution formally declaring a vacancy to exist in the office of City Council Member for Ward 2 and making appointment to fill said vacancy.
Thank you, Matt. Council, do we have a motion?
Your Honor,
Councilor Demas?
I make a motion to approve Resolution 2023-127.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Pedri. Is there any discussion?
Your Honor,
Yes, sir.
I think this would be a great opportunity for somebody or anybody who may tend to be critical of the city council or be concerned about the way government is ran to throw their name in the hat and make the change that they want to see.
Thank you. Any further discussion?
We have to make sure they live in Ward 2.
Correct.
Correct.
And they have to submit a letter that's due October 11th at 5 p.m. Very good. With that, Matt, if you'll take us through, please.
Councilor Pedri,
Yes.
Demas,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Yes.
Batolo, Hanson,
Yes.
Hickerson,
Yes.
Mayor Mickelson.
Yes. Motion carries unanimously.
Yeah.
And that takes us to Resolution 2023-128.
A resolution accepting and approving a grant from the Sweetwater County Joint Travel and Tourism Board for the December Dunk Tournament and authorizing Max Mickelson as mayor of the city of Rock Springs, Wyoming to execute said grant document on behalf of said city.
Thank you. Council, do we have a motion?
So moved, Your Honor.
Thank you, Councilor Hickerson. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Botello. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Matt, will you please?
Counselor Demas,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Vitolo,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Hickerson,
Yes.
Pedri,
Yes.
Mayor Mickelson.
Yes. Motion carries unanimously. That takes us to Resolution 2023-129.
A resolution accepting and approving a contract between the City of Rock Springs, Wyoming and Garrett Parks and Play in the amount of $74,709 and authorizing Max Mickelson as mayor and Matthew L. McBurnett as city clerk to execute said contract on behalf of the City of Rock Springs.
Thank you. Council, do we have a motion?
Your Honor,
Councilor Demas?
I make a motion to approve Resolution 2023-129.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Hanson. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Matt, if you will.
Counselor Robinson,
Yes.
Vitolo,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Hickerson,
Yes.
Pedri,
Yes.
Demas,
Yes.
Mayor Mickelson.
Yes. The motion carries unanimously. Bringing us to Resolution 2023-130.
A resolution authorizing and directing Max Mickelson as mayor of the City of Rock Springs, Wyoming, and Matthew L. McBurnett as city clerk of the City of Rock Springs, Wyoming, to accept and approve a budget revision to the budget for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2024.
Council, do we have a motion?
Your Honor.
Councilor Hickerson?
Move to approve Resolution 2023-130.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Demas. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Matt, if you will kindly.
Counselor Batolo,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Hickerson,
Yes.
Pedri,
Yes.
Demas,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Mayor Mickelson.
Yes, motion carries unanimously. That takes us to our penultimate resolution, 2023-131.
A resolution accepting and approving a proposal for irrigation design and consulting services from Bear Design Group of Boise, Idaho, in the amount of $150,260 for the Wataha Recreation Area Golf Course Irrigation Project, and authorizing Max Mickelson as mayor and Matthew L. McBurnett as city clerk to execute said proposal on behalf of the City of Rock Springs.
Thank you. Council, do we have a motion?
So moved, Your Honor.
Thank you, Councilor Batolo. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Robinson. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll let Matt walk us through the vote. See how I saved that?
Nice save.
Counselor
No one
Hanson,
saw that at all.
Yes.
Hickerson,
Yes.
Pedri,
Yes.
Demas,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Vitolo,
Yes.
Mayor Mickelson.
Yes, motion carries unanimously. Our final resolution is Resolution 2023-132.
A resolution accepting and approving a contract between the City of Rock Springs, Wyoming and JM Electrical, Inc. in the amount of $70,860.25 and authorizing Max Mickelson as mayor and Matthew L. McBurnett as city clerk to execute said contract on behalf of the City of Rock Springs.
Thank you. Council, do we have a motion?
So moved, Your Honor.
Thank you, Councilor Hickerson. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Demas. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Matt, if you will, please.
Counselor Hickerson,
Yes.
Pedri,
Yes.
Demas,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Vitolo,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Mayor Mickelson.
Yes, motion carries unanimously. That brings us to ordinances. We have two on their third reading, so we will be looking to take action. The first is 2023-07.
An ordinance amending Chapter 1, Article 15, Section 1502 of the Ordinance of the City of Rock Springs entitled Councilman Bond and Duties.
Council, do we have a motion?
Your Honor.
Councilor Hickerson?
Move to approve Ordinance 2023-07.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Demas. Is there any discussion? Hearing none.
Counselor Pedri,
Yes.
Demas,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Vitolo,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Hickerson,
Yes.
Mayor Mickelson.
Yes. Motion carries unanimously. And our final item of business this evening is Ordinance 2023-08.
An ordinance repealing and replacing Article 11.7 of the ordinances of the City of Rock Springs entitled Private Television Franchises within Chapter 11, Franchises and Right-of-Ways.
Thank you. Council, do we have a motion?
Your Honor,
Counselor Demas.
I make a motion to approve ordinance 2023-08.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Counselor Batolo. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Matt, if you will.
Counselor Demas,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Vitolo,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Hickerson,
Yes.
Pedri,
Yes.
Mayor Mickelson.
Yes. Motion carries unanimously, and we are adjourned.